What's going on, guys? I finally am getting a chance to spend some time with my 2025 Kawasaki ZX6R. So far, we've thrown the tail tidy on there. We've got the windscreen, the block-offs. Now all that's left is to get the suspension sorted out. We're going to talk about that while we ride together and put some break-in miles on this machine, because she is still just a baby. With only 54 miles on the clock, I have been riding this bike around just a little bit, trying to get that suspension dialed in. You know how important that is on your sport bike. Well, this motorcycle becoming a little bit of a challenge, I gotta admit, getting that sorted out. We're gonna talk about that, as well as some other things about this motorcycle. Some of them good, some of them kind of questionable. But either way, she is in the stable, and we are going to be chatting all about her for this video. One thing I gotta say about this bike is that it is so comfortable to ride. A lot more comfortable than I thought it was going to be when I first sat on it. And I know that, you know, comfort is a bit of a subjective topic, but all things considered, this bike's really good. Alright, taking her easy. Again, we're still trying to get this suspension sorted out on this bike. But I gotta say, where she is now is not half bad. Although I will fully admit that we are at the ends of adjustment when it comes to preload. I am just shy of 6 feet tall, 32-inch inseam, and 205 pounds. And the front, the way that the front is set up right now, is I've got 36 millimeters of Ryder sag, but I've only got about half a turn left in total preload adjustment out of 20 full turns. So she's pretty well maxed out on preload. Outback, we've also got 36 millimeters of sag. The thing is, I could dial it up a little bit more out back, but I would quickly run out of free sag or static sag. That is sitting at 6 millimeters right now. And I gotta tell you, this bike, it feels really good, especially over these expansion joints on the bridge. It's pretty comfortable all the way around. As far as the hydraulics go, okay, so let's start with the front. The way that it comes from the factory, it is extremely soft. So what I did initially is I just put the hydraulics up front right in the middle of their range. And I have gone one turn in, so made it one turn stiffer on compression, and rebound is still where it was from factory. I'm sorry, it's at halfway when I reset everything. In the back, it already comes in its halfway range, meaning from fully soft to fully stiff. It's right in the middle. I am one full turn in on compression out back. And that's the setup. So in general, it feels really good, although we are using a lot of torque under hard braking. Not all of it, but a lot of it. But as far as setting it up for turns or sweepers or anything like that, I mean, it feels really nice. Stable as all get out, too. So definitely positives there, even though we're at the limit of our adjustability. It works out fine, so I'm not really sweating that. Tire pressures on the Diablo Rosso 4s, which is what this bike comes with from the factory, really good tire. I am running 35 PSI up front, 37 PSI out back. That setup usually feels really good and good traction. So I like that setup, and it seems to work fairly well. But I would like a little bit more spring. Tires are great, but I'll take it as it sits now, because it is, at the end of the day, a street bike, not a track bike, even though we do tend to ride him a little bit on the aggressive side. So let's go ahead and get her through our favorite S-turn. Go ahead and come up on the turn. Raindrops, no biggie. Gonna go ahead and drop her in. Power, 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 power. I feel like I could have hit that so much harder. And as we idle up to our favorite little stop signs. Hello, little stop signs. To give you an idea, y'all can see where it's at. It's couple of centimeters above bottom, so it's not bad. This is, I mean, this is kind of how I would have wanted it to be set up anyway. So it's really good. Okay, sorry guys, gushing a little bit on my own bike. Things that are kind of weird about this bike, well, mechanically anyway. Well, the quick shifter. Okay, so the quick shifter is up only, which I kind of prefer, if I'm being honest. The weird thing about it, though, is that, and I guess this makes sense too when you think about it, but it almost feels like it has a variable delay time. And what I mean by that is, if you shift quickly, there's very little delay time. It's pretty instant, snap, snap, snap. If you move your foot more slowly, it feels like there's a lot more delay time to it. So it feels a little clunky, but that kind of makes sense, I guess, in a way. I mean, it is a quick shifter. You're supposed to be shifting it quickly. So just a quirk of the bike. It's definitely not a demerit. Heck, for all I know, it's better. But just something that I noticed, and oh god, the mid-throttle acceleration on this bike is just so good. I got a little bit distracted, sorry guys. Any other things that are annoying me? Yeah, there's one thing. I mean, taking all the mechanical stuff for what it is. But as good as the TFT screen is, and it's good, I mean, it's very clear. Love how crisp that screen is. Fantastic. But Kawasaki, hope you're listening to this. I need to know who programmed your TFT screen. This thing is about as convoluted stupid as you could ever dream up a system to be. You're pressing 2 buttons, 3 buttons at the same time. You got to know how to play piano and guitar. As far as finger dexterity, pressing the right buttons, knowing when to press the keys. It seems like to make this thing work. Because I'm still trying to figure out. Now I get it. You learn how to use it and then it's second nature. I know. But for, you know, a dummy like me, coming from a Suzuki that is extremely intuitive, this is extremely not intuitive. About the best I figured out how to do is to put it into sport mode and to turn the quick shifter on, because it's off from the factory. Got a little explaining to do with that one too. So then I had to go into so you can imagine, right, first ride I'm going, what happened to my quick shifter? And went, oh yeah, because I had remembered you can turn it off. So I went in, figured out you have to press the select and the down button. That turns your quick shifter on or off. Anyway, learning the Cowie. And again, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna keep talking about the suspension here for a hot minute because I have put quite a bit of work into this off camera. And it is so good going over expansion joints and little imperfections in the road. I just, like right there, that's a heavy duty expansion joint on that big bridge, and this bike just soaks it up. So it handles well, it rides exceptionally well, and it's comfortable in general to ride. Oh, and I want to get back to the power output of this thing. It feels eerily similar, like we're just cruising down the highway here, partial throttle rolling, and it collects mile an hour in a very familiar way. And what I mean by that is I have recently ridden and done a ride-in review on the Honda CBR 1000 RR. And guys, I'm not kidding when I tell you that the difference between these two bikes, or those two bikes, or this bike and that bike, how do you say that grammatically? Anyway, the difference between those machines is not very much. Bike is just so placeable. So that's one of the big takeaways for me. Now, once you're underway, it's just so similar. And I get it, they're both stock, they're both stock though. I mean, when I'm comparing stock bikes here, not tuned or unrestricted or what have you. Definitely good stuff, guys. So, getting to know you, getting to know all about you. Really enjoying this bike quite a bit, guys. And I gotta say, I can't wait to bring you guys more content on this machine. Next up is going to be full exhaust and a tune, probably velocity stacks as well. Leaning towards Graves for those. But outside of that, I'm just going to start enjoying this bike. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this too. Bring you guys along for the ride. I know I haven't addressed the elephant in the room, which is the recall. This bike made it through the recall inspection with no issues, but I do want to talk about that as well, but we'll save that for another video. But with that, guys, if you made it this far, please consider smashing that subscribe button. It helps the channel so much more than you know. And with that, guys, I'm going to check out. Take it easy.